Welcome to the final video log of this touring competition that I was doing. It's the end of the 2019 ABCs of touring that Harley run, well at least my attempt of it. I've got my 40 photographs that I need. If you look at the competition book, after you get 40 photographs, then all you can strive for is third place, second place or first place. And if you look at previous hog magazines, you'll see that it takes a lot of photographs to get up that high. So I've done my 40, I took an extra 41 just in case something happens and I'm not happy with the photographs that I've got. But it's, yeah, I'm going to call it an end and not go out and take any more, because any more, it's still not going to take me up the rankings at all. Why am I stopping, you ask? So why am I stopping? As I said, I've got my 40 photographs. I'm going to get all the prizes that I'm going to need to, and the Adelaide Flyers have started. Plus, it's a good time to stop. I've attempted this competition right at the end of the year, and it's now within a week before Christmas. Adelaide's about to have the end of year heat wave like no other. 40 degrees, 40. That's 104 degrees Fahrenheit, and up in the little bits more towards the centre, they're expecting temperatures of around 50 degrees. It's bad enough riding around when it's in the mid-30s or even 30 degrees, but try and go riding when it's 40 and you know what I mean. It's just, you feel your head melting inside your helmet. So it's not that great. Plus, the week before Christmas, everybody's out trying to do their final Christmas shopping. People will run short of time, they definitely run short of patience. And even today in the car, I was just slowly riding down to the shops, and you can see the cars trying to get past. They were just in a hurry, and I thought, oh dear, I wouldn't want to put myself into that situation. So if I try it again next year, it'll be early in the year so I can finish it much better. What have I learned from attempting this ABC touring competition? Let's start with the obvious. I've learned that I need to plan out what I'm going to do, plan out where I'm going to go, plan out when I want to take it, and also plan how to get there. Now, I've lived in Adelaide all my life and I still get lost. As you were able to see if you've watched any of the previous videos, I got lost because I thought I knew. And this was in the suburbs I got lost, not talking about out in the country. So I had to check my maps, and Google Maps saved my bacon more than once. A GPS on the bike would be really nice, but they're about 3 times the price of a car GPS, and I just can't afford that or justify the cost. So I do what I have. I make do with what I have. So planning what to do. Get the touring competition form, have a look, have a read through, see what you need to take, and start writing down the places that you think you might be able to go to take these photographs. Some are obvious. There are some letters of the alphabet are more abundant than others. The letter M, for example, someone said, oh, you can just go down to the Marion Council opposite the Westfield and take a photograph in front of that. That's the letter M. Now, to me, that's, yeah, I could, but I feel like I'd be cheating. It's just too easy. So I didn't. I went out down south and took a town of Maipongo. But there's also Murray Bridge, Mount Barker, lots of places that start with the letter M that you could take the photos of. So check where you're going to go, figure out where you're going to go. Go onto Google Maps and look at Street View. There are lots of places that, yes, I know where that is, but in reality, when you get there and you're on your bike and you've got to park your bike, get off, take a photograph, it's just not plausible. F4 Flinders Park Post Office. It's a small little agency right on Grange Road down in Flinders Park. if I wanted to use it, I'd either have to park my bike on the footpath or park my bike right on the corner of the streets and hope that nobody's going to come around and wipe me or the bike out, or especially if police come past and say, why are you parking your bike on an intersection? So I found other places to go. How to get there? That's also with the timing of it all. I try and work out that if I'm going to go down south, then I'll try and take the photographs in that particular area on one day. Or, okay, I can miss these first few, then I don't need to go as far, and then I can drive past the same places the next time and take the next lot. But it's up to you. And if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm reading my little notes, so I do cover everything. What to take? You could ask others, people who have done it in the past. Hey, what do you take this for? Or what do you take that for? And I did that. I let it be known that I was attempting the competition and I'd love some help of where to go and what to take. And I got surprisingly little response. I don't know whether people didn't want to tell me or they just forgot. I was speaking to someone in the club and they did it for years and years. They even got a third place or got just pipped off of first place once. And I was asking a question that, all right, what do I need to take to show that I'm in Australia? Because you get 1 point for each country you're in. If you're in Europe, you just go for a ride. You know, you could be in France one day, Spain the next, go over to Italy. You know, you fill up the countries if you want to do some riding. But here in Australia, we've got, unless you're going to go on a boat or a plane, you've got one country, and so you need to show that you're in Australia. And I never got an answer from anybody saying, what did you take a photograph of? And I thought it had to be an official building with an Australian coat of arms, federal building. And I thought, oh, tax office. And after I thought, yes, I can take that. But then I went into Adelaide and they moved. They moved to another street with a smaller office and they didn't have that in the building. So on my first trip, I went over to eastern states, then dropped into Canberra. I thought, Canberra, the Australian War Memorial, the Australian Federal Government Building. Afterwards I thought, oh, perhaps the Australian Federal Police. They've got a building down near the Adelaide airport. But I forgot all about it. It wasn't until I submitted my photographs the second time around, and this is in 2018, I actually got a phone call from the people doing the competition, just double checking some detail I left out. And they said, oh, you've doubled up on a couple of your photographs. Look, we'll use this post office as proof of country because it says Australia Post. And I never thought of that. So that's what I did this year. I've got an Australia Post. I think I went down to Aldinga, Australia Post. That's for the country. And then I went up to the hills, up to Aldgate, and I took a photograph of the sign. So why couldn't someone just tell me, oh, just take a photograph of a post office and don't use it for a place, just use it for Australia? But I didn't get that answer anywhere, which was very annoying. Think about, especially if you've been here in Adelaide for a while, think about where places are that you're going to take photographs of, because some places are better in the afternoon than the morning, some are better in the morning than the afternoon. An example is, if you go up to the hills and up to Gamaraka, to take a photograph of the Gamaraka police station, the afternoon is better because the police station's there, you would be there, and the sun's setting in the west. If you're taking a photograph of the rocking horse, you're in the car park, the rocking horse is here, and the sun's over there. So you need to be there in the morning, otherwise you'll be taking a photograph into the sun, and you'll get a nice dark outline of the rocking horse with not much detail. So what are you going to do? Go back twice? You could, it's not that far, but there are places that are there. Victor Harbour Police Station, you're looking east towards the police station, so that's better in the afternoon because you have the sun. so you're not going to be looking into the sun's not going to be coming into the camera lens. It'll make a much better photograph. But a lot of it is trial and error. Just, you're not sure if it will or it won't, but go and take a photograph. If you need to, go back again if it's not too far, but give it a go. Get a copy of the Harley magazine cover. One of the criteria for the competition is that you have yourself in at least 6 of the photographs, your Harley bike in all of the photographs, where you are clearly in the back, and a copy of the touring handbook. Now, because I joined Harley in the middle of the year, I don't get this until the middle of the year, the magazine I'm talking about. So in previous years, I've wanted to start it earlier, so I email Harley saying, can I please get a copy of the touring magazine cover or a copy of the quarterly magazine, and they just send a reply email and you get that. So I got that in my email. I've got a colour printer, so I print it out, or you can just take it to somewhere like Officeworks and print it off in colour, and then I got it for about $1.20, got it laminated. And it's still as, a bit dirty on the back, but it's still as good as the day that I started all those weeks ago. So you need a copy. And it's easier than taking a whole copy of the magazine along with you, because you just need the cover in your photograph. So that's been rather handy. Keep your photos safe. From bitter experience, I can tell you this: keep the photographs you take safe. At the end of the day's ride, by all means, go home, get rid of all the heavy, hot bike clothing, get changed into something comfy, have a cold drink, stretch, do the usual, but don't be lazy. Get your digital camera, take the memory card out, plug it into your computer, and download those photographs to a safe folder. And when you've got those photographs in that folder, put a USB drive in or another hard drive and save it again, so you have 2 copies. This year, my computer deleted the one and only folder that I had with all my photographs in it, so I lost half the photos. Luckily, my Apple Macintosh has a time machine function, and it luckily, thank goodness, duplicated all the photographs. Thank goodness. Otherwise, I was really thinking, oh, forget it, I'm not going to bother anymore. I've lost them all. It's not worth doing it and all the rest. So keep your photographs safe. Have at least 2 copies. Know where the copies are. And then next time you go out riding, do the same thing. Get changed, do all the rest, then copy the photos over. Label them, it helps. Just label where, I just label it, for example, B, Bridgewater. C, I don't know what I did for C. D, Dernancourt. E, Ichunga. M, Mylor. That way you can see which ones you've got. Big Rocking Horse, Big Cherries, and so on. That way you can just keep checking off the list and seeing what you still got left to do, how many you've done, and so on. You can be as quick or as slow as you want. You can attempt the competition as fast as you want or as slow as you want. The only limitation, the only criteria you have is that every photograph has to be taken and submitted to Harley by the 31st of December. If it doesn't have it in their server by then, they won't be included. So it doesn't mean you need to wait until then. If you take your photographs in the first half of the year, then upload them once they're all done. But if you're like me, I'm going to be uploading this probably a couple of days before Christmas, so fingers crossed their server and all the rest will be okay. You could decide, I'm going to go out, I just want to take the minimum number of photographs, which is 20. I'll go out for rides on the chapter rides, and you'll take 1 photograph a day for 20 different rides, and you'll end up with the pin to stick on your vest. If you want more, then obviously you need to go out more. You might want to take 2 or 3 photographs a day, or you might want to have some dedicated rides and you can take 8 or 9 in a day and 6 another day. If you want to get a big bunch of photographs, and especially if you're here in Adelaide, I highly recommend a weekend overnighted trip to Renmark. Let me tell you why. And you can count with me, and you can see the little stars on the bottom as they come through. From here, head north out of the city, stop at Gawler Police Station. Keep heading up north to the township of Kapunda. They've got a great welcome to sign that you can take a photograph of. If you don't want that, then there is the Kapunda post office, but that's in the main street and you could have cars in front, but the welcome to sign is much better. About 100 metres up from the welcome to sign is a big miner statue celebrating the copper heritage of the area. Take your photograph of that. From Kapunda, morning tea perhaps, then turn right, head down to Waikerie for another photograph of the welcome to Waikerie sign. Continue on through towards Berry, and on the left hand side of the road there's the big orange. It's not used anymore, but the big orange is still there and you can set it up and take a photograph. It's not going to be a nice place to take a photograph because the sun's always going to be behind the orange, so you just have to make the best of a bad situation. So go from the orange, head on to Renmark and keep going through Renmark up to the state border. You've got the Welcome to Victoria sign. That will give you 3 points for the competition. Across the road and about 10 metres towards Adelaide is the Welcome to South Australia sign. Another 3 points. So that gives you up to 12 points so far, which is good. Head back to Renmark and take a photograph of the Renmark police station. Then find your motel, relax, enjoy the company, have a nice meal, good sleep. So the following morning, you're heading out of Renmark back to Berry. Just outside of Renmark, on the left-hand side, is the Murray River National Park. Another photo. Continue on to Berry, and you can either take a photograph of the Berry Police Station or the Berry Post Office. If you miss that, that's okay. There's lots of bees in Adelaide you can take a photograph of. But from Berry, over the bridge, head towards Loxton, and just before Loxton, they've got a rather large park, and they've got a statue of a big pelican to take a photograph of. Now, the pelican will be photograph number 15. Head into Loxton, and you've got the post office, but the police station is the easiest to take a photograph of. It's not manned on weekends, it's only like a little shop front, but it does say Loxton Police Station along the top. Out of Loxton, and then head towards a place called Karoonda. Karoonda's about 60 kilometres out of Taylor Bend, but Karoonda Post Office, clearly marked, and they've got a big ram statue. Another 2 photos. That will take up to 18 photos so far. Continue on to Taylor Bend. Just before you get into Taylor Bend, there's an olive oil factory that has got a big statue of 2 olives. Take a photograph of that. Head into town, and they've got a Taylor Bend police station, which again isn't used on the weekend, but you can park right out front. Taylor Bend Police, take a photograph. And if you don't do anything else for the competition, there's your 20 photos. You submit it, get your pin, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. But if you want to continue on, you can do so. But a great trip. For over 2 days, it's just a gentle ride up there. Plenty of time, and if you go with other people, you know what an overnighter is like away. You know, don't drink too much, sleep, and so on. But something to think about. Would I attempt the competition again? Yes, I would attempt the competition again, and I will, if I can, in 2020. I don't ride my bike as much as I should, considering the amount of money that I spent on it. But I don't have others to ride with other than the chapter rides on the weekends, and sometimes it's 3 weeks between rides, between the 2 different chapters here in Adelaide. But the competition got me out of the house after a little bit of pushing, and I have enjoyed myself thoroughly. If I hadn't been riding it, the bike would have been here almost all the time. I was making excuses why not to go for a ride. When you are out, it does get, I found that it was a bit embarrassing holding up the magazine cover, smiling, cameras over there taking a photograph, sign behind me, like, geez, waiting for the self-timer to go off. And you get the car drivers go past, looking at you very strangely, wondering, what the hell is that guy doing? Adelaide flies, go away. But it is kind of fun. The first 2 times I did the ride, I made a booklet of my ride. Included the photographs that I put into the competition, plus basically instead of talking to the camera, I put it down in text. And so it was just the things I tried, the things I didn't try. And I got them all printed out, bound up. And in the first one, I've even got the rule book on there. So instead of this, I've done a video log this year, obviously. Why? Why the video log? Because I wanted to. Because it was a part of the new technology. But it did highlight quite a number of things. One, it let me see what I sounded like, what I moved like. I can see my mannerisms and little idiosyncrasies, the things that some people will pull their ear or rub their nose or scratch their head, even though it's just a habit or something when people talk. And nobody knows, and you don't know what you sound like or act like unless you are actually being videoed while you're talking, whether it's just talking like this or just in a social situation. And I'm not just talking a little clip, but an extended amount of time so you can see your body movement and the inflections of your voice. It wasn't until I took all this that on some times that I was talking about my ride to the camera, I was looking at the footage and I was thinking, I can see my son. He says it exactly the same way. Now that was scary. That was scary. I don't think I'll tell him, hey, you've turned out like your old man, because who wants to be told you've turned out like your parent? That would, how insulting to some kids. You're just like your father, or you're just like your mother. I'll keep that bit to myself, so if he ever watches this, then, sorry son, you turned out a bit like me sometimes. But the other reason that I wanted to take these photographs, or this video log, a bit of a selfish reason, was that for my family. I came up in a generation that was technologically lacking. If you wanted photographs, you took a photograph with film, sent it away and got it processed. If you wanted a movie camera, then you hired a professional movie camera for hundreds of dollars. There's no such things as smartphones with cameras and recordings and all the rest. I've got some Super 8 footage of my parents. Not a lot, but there was no sound with all that. And my parents passed away quite a number of years ago. And it is worrying to me for the fact that I have forgotten what they sounded like. I can kind of remember, but to actually hear their voice again would be, wow, that'd be good. I've got photographs, but not video of them. I said a bit of film of them. So I would like to be able to leave all this so that my children in future years can look back and think, hey, yeah, Dad, that's what he sounded like. I can remember, and keep that kind of attachment. For for my grandchildren especially, to be able to know what their grandfather sounded like. My oldest is only 4 and she's not going to remember once I'm dead and buried and gone for 20 years. But enough of that. This is it. Goodbye, goodbye. Thank you so much if you've been on my journey. I mostly appreciate it. Do give it a go. It's well worth the effort. Whether you video log it or just go out taking photographs, please give it a go. You're going to have lots of fun. But whatever you do, be careful, be safe. Lots of crazy people out there on the roads. Please subscribe to this, because in a few months' time, I'm going to add one last video, and that's of me opening up the package from Harley when I get the photograph, get my prizes. And if you're subscribed, that means you'll get notified that it's going to come out. All right, that's it. I'll try and be more outgoing. I'll try my best. It is so hard for me, but I will try and attend more meetings. I'll be making excuses not to go. Lame excuses, but excuses. Chapter rides, yes, get out there, be social. You don't need to be alone for so long, but yeah. All right, again, thank you so much for being part of my journey, and enjoy your journey if you give it a go. So from Keith here in Adelaide, South Australia, at the end of 2019 touring competition, I say goodbye and farewell.